I was on the couch eating a bowl of whipped cream, watching Gilmore Girls.
Eating a bowl of whipped cream.
That's what I was doing, just to trick the mind with carbs. And
this is like what it's like to be a woman.
yes,
like,
and watching Gilmore Girls in the middle of the pandemic in a brand new house that I bought right before the pandemic, and I was like very alone with my cat. And I'm sitting there, and I see my lawyer calling, so I was like, "Oh, the package didn't go through," because that's happened before, because it's such a big PDF. And there was just a weird silence when I was like, "Hey, David." It was just like a weird silence on the phone. And I'm like, "David," and he just was like, "You were selected."
So my dad one time in the Woodlands, Texas, a suburb of Houston, I was at my dad's house for the weekend, and he starts going, I was probably in middle school. He's like, "Girls, get down here right now." And we're like, "Oh my God, we're in trouble. What do we do?" And he's like, "It's about time you learned how to set up a windsurf." And he made
it was about time, Brittany. What were you doing that whole time?
We set up a windsurf in the pool. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for being
Jodi
here.
Miller,
Hey,
one of my all-time favorite people in the world.
Favorite.
Favorite. Yeah,
She's just saying like one of, but like
actual favorite. I've been trying to have you on this from
forever.
the beginning.
Yes.
You would have been like guest number one, but
because I'm number one.
You're busy because you're number one. So that's why. But you've been doing comedy forever.
30 years.
30 years.
30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Which is crazy because I'm only 35. It's weird.
So now you have a daughter, and I have a daughter, and sometimes they hang out.
Yes.
But I feel like the perfect job for you is to be a Playdate commentator. Because you're so funny at play dates on the side. You're just saying all the stuff that like we all want to say. You're like, up there in an abusive relationship. Look at that abusive relationship. Like all this
Well,
stuff.
we have to like tell everyone the story of, it was, I think, their first. Yeah, was it after Unicorn World? I think it might have been after we went to Unicorn World.
We went to Unicorn
Totally.
World.
Other podcast. For the Furbies out there, we went to Unicorn World.
Yeah, we went to Unicorn World, and they had mermaids.
And they had mermaids
that they definitely got from Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, definitely.
We were like,
and Penelope loved him. Mackenzie was like, "I don't trust it. I don't trust that tail."
Mackenzie's like, I know that this is not
weird.
good.
I'm not going anywhere. I know that's not from nature. No, we had a play date here. And my daughter is a year younger, and your daughter Penelope was so kind to give Mackenzie a princess dress that she had outgrown. Mm-hmm. So she gave it to Mackenzie. So Mackenzie was like 3, Penelope was 4, and 3 is a really weird age. So is 4. They're all weird.
So
So she gave it to Mackenzie, and then like Mackenzie was like, "Yeah." And then Penelope took it and went to go give it to me, knowing that my daughter would trash it. Like it would be trashed.
She's like, "Here, take this home."
She was like, she was trying to bring it over to me. And my daughter thought she was taking it away from her. She's like, "Mine." So they just started pulling. So Mackenzie's going, "It's mine." And Penelope goes, "I know." And she's pulling it. And I'm like, "Mackenzie, she's trying to get it." And she's pulling it and pulling it. And they're pulling it back and forth. And then without missing a beat, my daughter stopped and just screamed in your daughter's face. I mean, so loud. Your dog actually was like, "I can't handle it," like out of the house. Everybody was like panicking, and Penelope just started crying.
She just like burst in, like cartoon character, like tears squirting
out because another child is screaming right in her face. But then my daughter snaps right out of it and is like, "Oh," and then she starts comforting her.
And then she brought her a present.
And then she went and she got her one of her own stuffed animals and gave it to her. She's like, "She's crying." I'm like, "You did that." And then she tried to give her a gift, and I'm like, "That's an abusive relationship. You just made her cry, and then you were like, 'But here, take these flowers. I love you.'" It was,
and I think I was like, "Accept the apology, Penelope." I just feel like I'm like, get used to it.
Get used to it. This is what
how
happens.
Relationships will be the rest of your life.
Exactly. But then the rest of the day, Penelope bossed her around because she's older. They were outside, and she's like, "Go get me." And Mackenzie's like, "Yes, you've earned it. I will be your slave now."
I feel like,
and that's how relationships work. This is actually a relationship podcast. I don't know if you know that.
It is a relationship podcast. Girls are so hard.
They're so hard.
I feel like I love Penelope dearly. She's amazing, and I find her so fascinating. She is so hard to. It's so hard to be her mom. And then Benjamin, the boy,
so easy.
I'm just kind of like he'll cry, but I'm like,
he's fine.
I almost kind of laugh at it because I think men having emotions is funny. I don't know. I'm like, what's wrong with me that when my son cries, I laugh, and when my daughter cries, like my nervous system goes into like
I
flames.
know. Sometimes when she cries, though, I laugh a little bit. Because it's funny. Because I'm like, really? Like, you stepped on that on purpose. Like, it's like your fault. When she hurts herself sometimes, like, you're fine.
Yeah, I know.
They're just mean. They're mean at this age, and they're way too honest. She called in bed with me the other day, and I was so tired. It was a Sunday, and I was sleeping in. She's like, Mommy. And you do that thing where you're like, oh, yeah. Like, you don't actually enunciate because you're trying to get back to sleep. You're like, oh, yeah. She's like, ugh, your breath stinks.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm like, so does yours. Out of the bed. And I just give her a shove out of the bed.
I know. It's like you can't win with them.
No.
You can't win with them. You can't. I feel like I met you, though, before we both had kids.
Yeah, I know. When we
Which
like
is
had
crazy.
like a life.
And
like,
time, and like we could get like sick and lay down.
We could get sick and lay down and be hungover.
I feel like when people are sick
and get
now,
coffee whenever we wanted.
Oh my God,
and go to the
know.
bathroom without somebody barging in.
No, or like having to sit on our lap while we pee.
Right. Exactly. Oh my God, that is the worst. If nobody that has like, if you don't have kids, you don't understand. Not only do they sit on your lap when you pee, she goes to like get between my legs when I'm taking a poop. And yes, women take poop. I'm like, get away from me. This is private time. She's like, I want to be in it. I'm like, gross. She's like, hug me, or she pats me on the back. I'm like, this is why women have problems pooping outside of the house, especially in public, because they grew up with their moms hovering over them, like, good job. And then they do it to their mom. It's gross.
I know.
Get away.
It is crazy. I feel like, I don't know if I've ever told anybody this except for Marco knows, but I feel like this is what it's like to be a parent. Penelope was probably 2.5 or 3, and we went to a restaurant down the street from our house that's walkable, but then we ran into a friend, and they're like, oh, do you want us to drive you home? And we're like, sure, but we didn't have a car seat, but it's literally down the street in the neighborhood. So it's like, Penelope, you can just sit on my lap. And as we're driving, I'm like, oh my God, did I just pee in my pants? And then I realized Penelope peed while sitting on my lap, and it felt like I peed in my own pants.
In someone
and I was
else's
like,
car.
and this is what it's like to be a mom.
That's what it's like to be a mom.
I basically peed my daughter's pee in my pants.
Oh my God, you're so lucky. It's so gross.
In my friend's car.
Did you tell your friend?
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, what's happening to me? And then I was like, am I peeing? I don't feel it. And then I was like, oh my God, I think Penelope just peed into my
I like that
vagina.
you even questioned it, because as an adult, I think I would know if I had to go to the bathroom and that the pee was coming. I think I'd be
It
like,
just
I'm
was
gonna
the weirdest feeling I've ever experienced. I feel like you've been like such a huge part of my life.
No, thanks.
And I met you, and I hadn't ever done stand-up.
No, you had just done like,
Storytelling.
I was going to say spoken word.
I feel like
Who
Jodi
does
has so
spoken
many
word?
jokes
Have you
about
ever
storytelling.
seen spoken word?
I have one time, and I felt embarrassed
It's
for the
really,
person.
they like just state the obvious, but in an unnatural way. They're like, toaster on. Coffee? Sure. I'm like, what's happening? It's called morning routine. Wake up. Oh. I'm like, I swear to God, that is spoken word. I'm sorry. It's so disjointed, and it's almost like a toddler. You know what I mean? Breakfast, please. In my mind. It's like weird afflections and like.
Best spoken word I've ever heard. I feel like you actually are good at it.
I might be pretty good at it if I had a candle and I snapped. So yeah, anyway, you did storytelling, much different, much
But
better.
I feel like you have a lot of jokes. You'd always be like, storytelling. So like the girl who can't shut up at a party. I feel like you had all these jokes about storytelling.
I don't remember that.
But I had done storytelling, and I was like, Marco had kept saying like, you should do stand-up, and my friend had taken a stand-up class with you. So I'd seen you. Who was Mary
that?
Kenny.
Oh, right. So great.
And this was like, I don't know.
This was a long time ago.
This was a long time ago. And then I was like, can you help me turn my stories into stand-up? And I went to you once, and you're like, okay, here's what's happening. You're going to do my show in 3 weeks at the Comedy Store. And I was like, I also felt very much like, this isn't my thing. Like, I'm just going to try it.
You were so like not, you were, I remember you were just like, I'm just going to try it. Like it wasn't, you didn't think this was going to become a part of, you know what I mean?
No, I did not.
Your career.
I did not think that at all.
No.
And then
But I knew that, I mean, you're just naturally funny. You have a gift, like a writing gift.
Thanks, Jodi.
You do. Your gift
Thank
of
you.
writing.
Thank you.
I can't speak today. I don't have the gift of speech, but
Thank
I
you.
should just do this whole podcast in spoken word.
Oh my gosh.
Comedy. I knew that you already had it. Like a lot of your stories
Thank
already
you.
had comedy. A lot of storytelling, is funny, but then there's a lot that's, more dramatic or sad.
Yeah, they want
or
like a little
heartfelt.
fluff of like
Right,
an arc and
exactly.
stuff. And I was always like, this is the part that I don't like in my stories.
Right.
And that's why Marco kept being like, you should just do stand up because you really
Right.
only like telling the jokes in your stories.
Right.
And I
Exactly.
was like, okay. So then I went.
And
then
the reason I gave you a show date immediately is because I feel like so many people that I coach privately or take my class have this idea like maybe I'll do it, but then they don't have a show booked, so you don't have a goal. So
Yeah.
you're just basically in that bubble of writing and working with me or working with other comics and just sort of just telling each other the jokes, but you're not on stage doing it in front of an audience.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of classes out there that are like 8 weeks, 10 weeks. That's too long. Like I'm like 4 weeks, 3
Yeah.
private sessions, get on a stage. Because if you don't, you're just going to stay in that bubble and it's going to become
Yeah.
a bigger thing
That's
instead of
so
just
true.
getting on stage and just doing it. You know
Yeah,
what
and
I
like
mean?
figuring out, you don't know what works until you do it. Really.
Exactly. You
Like
don't
stand up
know-
is not
yes.
something you can like sit in your room and be like, this works, this doesn't work really. You kind of,
Yes.
you can kind of think, but you have to
Right.
do it.
And you can tell it to your friends, but your friends already like you and they're already
Yeah.
biased. So it's really interesting when people first start out. And there's a lot of misconceptions, and especially open mics. People just think, oh, I'll just do open mics. And unless you're in a city that has a real audience that come to open mics, they're soul crushing. And I've seen a lot of people stop doing comedy or stop doing a specific joke because they're like, oh, it didn't work at this open mic. I'm like, was there a real audience there? Because I know this joke would work. It's just open mic. Other comics are sitting there. They're thinking about what they're going to do. They think about what they just did. You really need an audience to gauge
Yeah.
if a joke is working or not.
That's so true. Yeah. It's really true. I feel like, yeah. And I did that show and then I like had a full mental breakdown afterwards where I was like, I think I have to do this all the time.
Oh, I remember. Yeah. I mean, you just started
Because
like,
I had a lot of,
yeah.
I was like, oh, I actually really like this.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised. And then
It's very addicting, catching the bug of stand-up. I love, I taught my class for 15 years and I still privately coach. And when I do have any time, I try to like do a pop-up class because if I can get one person that's never been on stage before or has never done comedy, even if that's not their goal. Like, by the way, I've worked with a lot of comedy directors, a lot of comedy writers that just want to see what it's like on the stage. They go on to have like successful careers as writers,
Yeah.
but they want to get on stage and feel what it's like. I love giving people that opportunity to get on stage and experience that very first time that you have it. It's magical. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And I think the comedy gods bless you. And it's such an amazing experience. And to get all that validation, like, oh, I'm funny. I mean, like public speaking is the number one fear. Like death is number 2. Like public speaking is number 1.
Yeah.
Now imagine the pressure of trying to make people laugh. It's terrifying. People are so terrified. I was terrified. I was a stage actor for years before I got on stage and did comedy. It's a totally different animal. But that first laugh that you get, like it's like, oh my God. And then,
yeah.
you're in it.
I always felt like it was, like, I don't think I was terrified at all at that show.
I don't think you were
Weirdly.
either.
I think I was like really chill about it because I'd been on stage doing storytelling, but I think I figured out, I think the thing I liked about it so much is the world felt like dark to me and like a little like mean and
Right.
a little like gritty and like honest. And I feel like being an actor and then doing storytelling, you get so much like fluff sent your
Yes.
way and you get so much like praise and
Yes.
like you're kind of just like, you start to learn like, well, that's bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
I'll believe that when I see it.
Yep.
And then I got here and I was like, oh, this is like honest. This is real. Nobody's going to bullshit you. It's like impossible to bullshit your way through it because like you're in front of, you can't bullshit your
Nobody
way through it.
gives you pity laughs, not in your friends. Nobody gives you pity
No.
laughs. But I think also the reason is because there's so much tragedy rolled up in comedy. I mean, that's what they say. Tragedy plus time equals comedy. People are talking about real things, real experiences, difficult subjects, death, sexual abuse, addiction, like being a parent, motherhood, fatherhood, divorce, all of the things we're actually talking about. And we're the voice of people in the audience, so they're experiencing it too. You know what I mean? Having a sick parent, having a sick loved one, being sick yourself, going through cancer, all of those things are rolled up in stand-up. You know what I mean? We're pulling, our real experiences and difficult subjects, and that's why it's dark. But we bring a little light to it. You know what I mean? We're that laughter that everyone needs. That's why they say comedy is so healing. My favorite quote is, you can spend 10 years on the couch or 10 minutes on stage. To me, it's unbelievable. It's so true.
Yeah,
whenever you're going through something difficult, get on stage and talk about it, because you're working through it.
It's so true.
And you're not like pushing it down.
It made all my like relationships better, because I started to be like, oh, other people feel like this too. Oh, this isn't crazy. Like having a dysfunctional, it just makes everything feel more normal. And that's why I feel like people are like, I can't believe you do it as a parent all the time, or when you're pregnant and all this stuff. And I'm like, I have to, or I'm going to feel crazy if I can't be like, this is crazy, right? And like be like, other people be like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and people are laughing, so they're also experiencing some version of that, if not the exact same experience.
Exactly. Yeah. You and I have joked before, because Marco, my husband, is a therapist.
Right.
And I keep joking that I just like want to walk past his office and yell through the door and be like, just get on stage and call your mom a bitch and get on with it.
Move on with it.
It's like, you'd be so much better if you just did that. Like,
listen, I knew you were molested by your babysitter, but I have such a good joke for that. Just hear me out. Hear me out, guys.
This is gonna save you.
You know what, though? It is so true, though, because I've worked with veterans. So many veterans that honestly have a lot of PTSD and they can't work through it. But if they, not all the time, but a lot of times, them talking about their experiences really helps, because they're bringing it to the light and they're taking all of that power away from that thing that they're not talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're just moving through it, and it somehow heals you in a way. It's, you know what I mean? It's
totally. Okay, I want to know what your full out thing is, but I also want to talk to you. Well, you can tell me what your full out thing is. What's your full out thing that you went super full out in?
When I was in college, I fucked a lot of guys. I went full out. My vagina was full out.
This is the most full out.
It was so full out. It was actually full out everywhere I went. They were like, Jodi, put it away. I was like, I'm full out though. I'm committed.
Where did you go to college?
East Stroudsburg University, Harvard of the Poconos, okay? There was nothing else you could do was be like full out.
So, yeah.
No, that was actually my 20s. It wasn't my college that I was full out with that. No, you know what? It's funny because I was thinking about it, and I feel like probably because of the way I'm hardwired, I have a lot of full out moments, which is definitely, I mean, I think when I find something that I really enjoy doing, I definitely go full out, whether it sticks or not. Like when I was little, like our daughter's age, even younger, I was a gymnast, and I was a really good gymnast, and I was full out 6 days a week, trainer, everything. And it wasn't until I was like 8 or 9 when my coach was moving to Philadelphia and asked my parents, does she want to train there? My parents asked me, a lot of parents would have been like, you're going. You're an Olympian. You're going. And my parents, they could tell that I was not happy. I loved doing it, but I couldn't see my friends. I couldn't do a lot of things. Every day after school, I was at the gym every day. And I said, I don't want to do it anymore. And they were like, okay, great. And then after that, I, was really athletic, but then I found the love of performing. And I mean, that's been, many, many years that I've been full out, but I was a full out singer for a really long time. I sang at Carnegie Hall with my choir, and I had a solo, and then I went to college and I was with Extraordinary Students of America, and I toured as doing musical theater, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. And then I realized that it's hard in New York to go to singing, like theater, Broadway auditions or off-Broadway or off-Broadway musical auditions hungover. So I was like, I'm going to be a television actor because you're going to be so, and I booked my first thing hungover in New York City.
Oh my gosh. No way.
And I was like, it was Another World.
The soap?
The soap. Yes. I had 3 lines.
Nice.
I was a patient that was getting a colonoscopy. I'll never forget. And the reason I remember this, because it's your first role, is because I got there and I had my own dressing room. And I just kept sitting there waiting for hair and makeup to get me because I was like, this is it. And they're like, oh, we're ready for you. I was in a gown. I'm like, no hair and makeup. And they're like, you're getting a colonoscopy. You don't need hair and makeup. I'm like, I need hair and makeup. I need hair and makeup. But I had to like lay down and I had to say, doctor, is this going to hurt?
Oh my gosh.
And that was it. Those were my lines. 3, yeah. This isn't even like 2.5.
And also on a soap, they don't do it again.
No, they don't do it again. It's like
time.
one take. And but you know what they did? So that was it's called Under 5. And what I didn't actually realize until I actually moved out here, is that actually because it was just Afro at that time, but because it was an Under 5, I was eligible for SAG and I didn't have to go through all of I just didn't know that until I got out here. I kept thinking, I gotta get SAG vouchers. And they were like,
you already were.
They're like,
SAG.
you've been eligible for like 6 years.
That's so funny.
But I actually, Another World, they kept bringing me back as I'd always be like, you know, the girl in the payphone, the girl in the cafe. So I always had like Under 5, you know what I mean? Just like a few lines. And then I did Law and Order. Like I did the only shows that were in New York at the time. And then I'll never forget, this is how full out I was in the summer in New York City, 100-degree weather. Back during the 1900s, you had to like walk around with your head shot.
Sounds so crazy.
I know it does.
know.
You had to walk around. I had to like walk around New York City and drop my headshot off because I didn't want to mail them. I wanted people to see my face. So me and a bunch of my friends, we would go. And I went to this casting office and they had a box to just like drop your headshot off. I dropped it off.
Because you didn't want it to be in an envelope.
I didn't want
Because you knew they just tossed the envelopes.
Yes, because I actually also worked at a casting agency, like helping out. And yeah, you toss them. So
that's why people started sending postcards.
That's
because
right.
they didn't have to go in an envelope.
Exactly.
Yes.
There you go. Yes. So we would walk and we would drop them off.
It feels like ancient
It
history.
doesn't feel like ancient history. Back in our day, we had carrier pigeons that would just drop our headshot off.
I remember sending so many postcards.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
And
so
like,
I sent a magnet,
so
anything
embarrassing.
that would get their attention.
sent
I
a
will tell you the one
magnet?
thing that actually got my first lit agent. But anyway, so I dropped my headshot off.
Wait, sorry. You sent a magnet with
my
your picture on it?
and my number. Yeah.
Like they're going to put it on their fridge?
Whatever. Who doesn't want Jodi Miller, black and white, wearing an awkward suit over a chair? I think that was like the pose.
Can you imagine if this person has like a family and stuff and
Somebody
their kids
might
like,
still have that.
Who is that? And that's Jodi Miller. She's
With her phone number
She
on
got
it.
a colonoscopy.
She did exactly on Another World. You don't know her. You don't recognize her from Doctor. Is this going to hurt?
Oh, that's because you have hair and makeup on
That's
your
right.
headshot. I can't believe it.
They only
You were
recognize
sent a
me. They
magnet.
only recognize me laying down. Which again, full out in college, fucked a lot of guys. They also only recognize me from laying down.
Oh my
So
God.
I drop my headset off and I start walking away, and this guy runs out. He's like, "You from Another World who lays down." No, he's like, "You." He's like, Are you SAG? And I was like, I'm not, because I didn't know that I was eligible at that time. But he was like, it's okay. We are looking for extras. We're shooting a new HBO show. Like, give me your contact info. I think you'd be perfect. Like a club goer. I was like, I'm a club goer. I go to clubs. I could do that. It was for Sopranos, first season of Sopranos.
Whoa, cool.
And I'll never forget, it was the summertime, but we had to dress like it was wintertime. So, I mean, one girl actually passed out and they called her. It was like 1 a.m.
That's
it was
the worst
it was
when
the
you have
worst.
to dress the wrong season.
Oh, it was terrible. And we were all, they did so many takes, but I was very, very smart. I had a full out moment in my acting career. So there was a line, and we were all supposed to be people trying to get into a club. Me.
Yeah.
And then they had, because it was the first season and they couldn't get the real Martin Scorsese, although they probably could right after that first season, they had a lookalike Martin Scorsese walking right in the club. That was the scene. Like, he's just walking in and everybody's like, trying to get in. And I remember thinking on the first take, if you shout something out like a real club goer, they will, for continuity purposes, they will have to keep putting you in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I pushed through as they said action. I pushed through and I go, me, and then I had to do it every single time after
And
that.
then you got bumped up.
I
paid
didn't
more.
get bumped up. They actually did not bump me up, but I was there.
You had a line with Martin Scorsese.
Me. I mean,
That's
other people
amazing.
were kind of shouting too, but I was really like me. That's my whole life. Me. That's what I do all the time.
I don't think. I do feel like you're somebody who's like, if I want to do this thing, I will make it happen. I have noticed that about. I also sometimes am like, I don't understand how. I think I'm somebody who can do a lot in a day,
You do.
and then I think about you, and I'm like, you're running 2 shows right now. You're a single mom. You still do shows at night sometimes. I know you took a break for a second, but now I'm back. I'm like, she's gone for 2 seconds. I was like, yeah, right. When you told me, I'm taking
honestly like almost 4. It was almost 5 months,
which
actually.
is crazy.
Which is crazy for 30 years. I've never taken that much time off, but I needed to, and I think I got to a place. I wasn't working towards another special. I was like, the shows need my attention, and my daughter needs my attention. Like I need to be there, and also I just don't want to. Like I don't need to. Slap a face on, go out after a full day of work to do 15 minutes, which is great. I've been there. I lived it. You know what I mean? 30 years of it, which is,
but now you're back.
But now I'm back. I mean,
like
I'm just sort of like dipping my toe in because the shows are wrapping,
for like a second.
But you have 2 kids.
And then
I don't even know how you do 2 kids.
The shows are wrapping for a second, and then you have like a million more episodes.
We have a lot. I mean, now that we're 11:30.
Because you do Comics Unleashed and Funny You Should Ask.
Yes.
And you've been I feel like I need to say these things because people don't know. I just know. Yeah. But you do Funny You Should Ask. You've been doing that forever.
Yeah, since the beginning. I wrote on the pilots. That was another, I love to tell people this story because I was in a weird place in my life. And this is, I think this fits the theme of going all out when you decide you're going to do something, because most people don't. Actually, most people, as we get older, definitely don't, because we get scared. We're so scared, and we get stuck in our ways. I think when we're younger, it's easier to go full out. And when you get older, you get scared. You're just like, I want to do what's comfortable. I want to do what's safe. I don't want to be that squeaky wheel. I don't want to ask for what I need. I don't want to put those boundaries up. All of those things. So for a really, really long time, even though my manager was like, let's get you in the writer's room, I didn't want to, because I thought it would really like hurt my stand-up. I wanted to do all of that stuff. And when this came along, Funny You Should Ask, for the pilots, there was only 6 of us, and they offered me the job. And it was a very big change in my life. It was like working, 10-hour days in a room. I remember like talking to my boyfriend at the time, like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't think I should do this. Like, it sounds like fun, but I don't think I should do this. And he was like, you should do this. And I was like, I don't want to do this. And he just was like, well, just give it a chance. Just give it a chance. And I remember him talking, he wasn't even in this industry, but he was like, I said to him, I go, my whole life is going to change. And he was like, exactly. And that really resonated with me. And I was like, just say yes. Just stop coming up with excuses. Just say yes. If it is god awful, I could quit. It's whatever. So I said yes. That first month, I remember, was a huge transition. But then I loved it. It was great. And it's funny because, they originally was like, oh, maybe one day you'll be on the show. We have comics on the show. I was like, okay, whatever.
And you have have all the comics been there from the beginning?
No, not all of them. A lot of us have. I mean, we started out with 6. And then we wrapped the pilot writing them, and we didn't even shoot them until like months later. And then we shot them. And I knew right away when we shot them, I was like, oh, this is going to be a good show. And then I got picked up for 130 episodes in syndication.
Oh my gosh.
And then they brought me back as head writer, which was like, oh my God. And then they brought and then we had at that one point, like 22 writers. A lot of us have
comics who are on the show, it's like Howie Mandel, and you write
Tiffany
for
Haddish and Whitney Cummings and
like
myself.
Natasha
And I did
and
66 episodes.
That
It's
is
like crazy.
insane.
It's crazy to think how I almost turned that down. And that was a really pivotal moment in my career and my life, because I was like, stop with your version of how your life is going to go. Just take a chance. Just say yes to something that wasn't in your plan, but could have like the best results. And because of that, my whole life did change. My whole life did change. I was able to buy a house. I was able to adopt a daughter. I was able to I became executive producer of that show, and then executive producer of Comics Unleashed. I had all of this experience now producing, and I loved it. I didn't know that I would love it as much, even though I think I was already doing that. Producing shows, I was producing live shows, I was doing all of that stuff, but it all sort of came together, all because I took a chance, and all because I was, I think I was scared at that point. Like, it had just been after America's Got Talent. My mom
you were
passed.
on America's Got Talent.
I was really like, oh God, I'm aging out of this career, which is a lie we tell ourselves. You haven't aged out of anything. Wherever you are is where you're supposed to be. You haven't aged out of anything. People get so wrapped up in that number. I did, and it's not the case. I thought I aged out of motherhood.
Yeah. When I first met you, you were like stand-up is a career where like aging is good.
It is
for you
have
because you have more
life
experience. And I was like, because, you know, acting is very much like, you know, whatever, all that stuff. And you're like, it's like, just like a therapist. Like you don't want like a 20-year-old therapist. You don't like, not that people aren't funny when they're 20. There's some people, but like there's something like, you always have like people to relate to because people are always going to be your age.
Exactly.
Whatever age you're at, you know? So, but yeah, I know that's such an amazing, I'm so glad you did that. I do feel like people get scared and they think everything's permanent.
Yes.
And I think it's weirdly because I moved so much as a kid, like I went to 2 schools a year till 4th grade. Like I have a hard time with permanent things.
Right.
And I've had multiple friends like in, you know, this business has changed so much in the last few years. It's really sad. There's not as many jobs. People have like made their careers who aren't just like trying to make it. All of a sudden just like don't have any work, you know? And it's like, what do I do? But I just feel like you got to just start trying things because nothing is permanent. And if you hate it, you can stop and like you can move on to something else.
Of course.
Or it's not like you're going to get stuck there. You have enough agency to like leave, you know? But I think taking a chance is like shakes things up.
Yeah.
You know?
Take a chance.
Take a chance.
Take a chance, guys. Just
like my life is not what I thought it was going to be. I feel like if I actually like didn't take any chances, I literally would probably be a Fox News host right now. So I feel like
and they make a lot of money.
Like, I'd probably have a boob job and I'd be a Fox News host.
And you'd be at the White House. You'd probably be the Attorney General at this point.
I think I would be the Attorney General right now.
Yeah, I think you're told, or director,
press secretary,
whatever. Yes,
for sure. It would be press secretary.
Right, but you
I have like enough of the. I just need to get my chipmunk cheeks back. Like I lost all my collagen, so I'm sure I could get them back.
Speaking of, if any plastic surgeons are watching, I will get a facelift on camera. Just putting it out there. I always have to tell people that if anybody wants to.
Oh my god! I hope you get a facelift on camera. I'm trying to.
I have so many of my favorite plastic surgeons. Like my algorithm, I'm not even kidding you. At this point, is like supplements, peptides, plastic surgery, and witchcraft. Those are like the only things. Like anything to keep you young, I have popping up.
Yeah, it's so funny. Witchcraft is hilarious.
I know.
I feel like Jodi and I, when we sometimes I'll like Zoom with you to be like, can I run these jokes by you? The first 15 minutes is debriefing about our daughters.
Yes.
The second 15 minutes is debriefing about our face.
Yes.
And then the next 15 minutes is being like, okay, do you think this is funny?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you being like, yeah, and this and that. And then the last 15 minutes is like debriefing about how we're going to survive the rest of our lives with our daughters and our face.
Witchcraft comes in. We make a small sacrifice, very small. It's just all maintenance until the facelift. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like nothing works as good as like a facelift or Botox, you know?
Full out, full facelift.
Somebody the other day, this comic, he was talking to me at a show. I can't remember what I said. It was about like new faces or something. And I was like, yeah, I have my thing for that. And I was like, I just don't know if I'm a new face anymore. And he was like, what? And he's like, well, my girlfriend does microneedling. And I was like, I am way past microneedling. I am onto the hard stuff. I was like, trust me, I have done microneedling a lot. That was like 10 years ago.
I love it when people bring up microneedling. I'm like, that's for babies. That's actually for 5-year-olds. Okay.
Yeah. I was doing that when I was 5. I'm like, yeah, that's good. But trust me, she's going to need something stronger.
Well, you look amazing. You do look amazing, but I know that feeling when you look at yourself.
Yeah.
And right around 44 is when I noticed like my neck. That's, I think, if it wasn't my neck, I would be probably happy with a lot. Like I like, my face. I'm like constantly full out, keeping it full up. I'm literally just like, get it up.
What's your joke about the thass thing?
Oh, the thass. Oh yeah. Cause that's another thing. And it also, that is like, has taken a whole new level. Like I'm like, so every day it's like every day I think my ass and my face are in a competition to see and get to the ground first. Every day. I don't know which one, but my ass is always winning because I can feel my face and I'm not feeling my ass. But like, I am not kidding you, like, because you can't see it. But I used to have an ass and I used to have a thigh and now I have a thass. That's what it is. It is actually just blended together. There is no definition here. It is like I'm very skinny fat. It just sort of, I remember my mom also, same exact body. Do you remember if anybody has that memory of watching your mom change and thinking, why is your ass dragging on the floor? I was like, I didn't know butts looked like that until I got one. Like, I look at it all the time. I'm like, I can't fuck anyone now. I can't be full out with my vagina because everything's so low. Everything's it'd be so full out to the ground. It's just so, it's like, so I'm constantly doing squats and trying to do this, but your neck gives it away. That's why you see a lot of celebrities wearing turtlenecks, because your neck doesn't lie.
It's
your
true.
Neck, and the thinner you are, it's like then you have these crazy bands. And then again, Botox definitely helps. I'm not going to lie.
One doctor told me to start eating cheesecake for my neck. And I was like, she's like, you can either fill it or eat cheesecake.
Oh, Joe, just get fat. Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay.
I mean, it is true.
When I was breastfeeding Benjamin, my son, like I kept looking at myself in the mirror and being like, I need a facelift. I need a facelift. I can't even look at myself in the mirror. A week later, after breastfeeding him, I was like, I am the most beautiful person I've ever seen in the world. And then I was like, I wasn't telling my dermatologist who was giving me Botox that I was breastfeeding, because I just like would
Is
pump
that
and
why
like
Benjamin's
dump it.
like face is so perfect? Because
Yeah.
you're getting Botox through your breast
Yeah,
milk?
I'm just like helping my kids out for the future. So I was like, it's like, it can't, nothing. Somebody told me once, listen, this is not a medical health podcast, but one doctor did tell me, because it also helps with my migraines, Botox, but I'm really just getting it for like cosmetic stuff. But one doctor told me, a neurologist told me, if Botox could harm your baby, it would be killing women, because that means it's getting into your like whatever. Right. So anyways, whatever. I don't know what that means about breastfeeding.
Fully formed.
I wasn't telling
fully formed.
I used to be like, I had a joke when I was pregnant that I was like, because I did get Botox with Benjamin when I was pregnant. And then because my doctor told me, and then I freaked out and then asked my doctor later. So like if I went and got Botox, would it like do anything to the baby? And this is after I had gotten it already. Right. And I had like convinced myself I was going to give my son like a cleft palate or whatever, because that's what comes up on Google. And I was like, so like what could it do? And he's like, honestly, at this point, your baby is fully formed. So, and then I just took that and ran with it.
You ran with it. She did coke that night. Fully formed. That's what you told me. I was like, let's do hard drugs.
Yeah. Fully formed. We were like joking that I'm like smoking cigarettes outside being
fully
like,
formed, guys.
Formed.
Don't
like,
judge. Fully formed.
It's like such a second pregnancy. Fully formed. He's good to go.
I wasn't pregnant, so I was wasted. I did shrooms the day before my daughter was born, got the call, got on a plane and picked her up. I was like, fuck, this was an easy pregnancy for me.
That's so funny. But also your daughter, you have a joke about how your daughter had to like detox too.
Well, no, so my daughter was born, she had meth in her system, but like not a lot, not enough that she didn't have to detox.
Oh,
no,
she didn't have
to detox.
Thankfully. But you have a joke about the milestones.
Oh, the milestones.
So funny.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do it anymore, but it's so true. Like everyone, you know, but she walked. She was a later walker, but everybody was like, just with her milestones, everyone, you know what I mean, was just so concerned with her milestones. And I was like, my baby kicked meth. Like everybody like brags about it. They're just like, my daughter's already walking. I'm like, my daughter kicked like meth. She's getting her 5-year chip like right now. Like I think I win. You know what I mean?
I remember when you like left and got, it was such a surprise.
It was a really, I mean, talk about full out. I had to go full out immediately. I was in the adoption system for a while. I tried to get pregnant for years and that didn't work. And then I was like looking at other options and I was looking at surrogacy and doing all of that stuff. And then, you know, pandemic hit. I was in the adoption system still. It just was a crazy time. I did a podcast. I remember I was done with the podcast and I looked on my phone and my lawyer was like, great possibility, you know, but that's what you always hear. So he's like, send your packet in.
But it was quick.
Well, that was the thing. Normally it would be like you would send in your stuff, match with a birth mom or birth parents, and then you have like several months to, you know, be there and then hopefully be in the delivery room. He just said, great possibility, sent you a link. I sent my packet in. I didn't even think about it like an audition because it's been a year and a half almost, you know, and I forgot about it. And then 2 hours later, I looked at the stuff to make sure she was I just was like, I don't think I was really paying attention because I'd been through it. I wanted to see certain things on the birth mom's health record. And once I was like, okay with that, I just sent my stuff in. And then it was like only 2 or 3 hours later, I was on the couch eating a bowl of whipped cream, watching Gilmore Girls.
Eating a bowl of whipped cream.
That's what I was doing, just to trick the mind with carbs. And
this is like what it's like to be a woman.
Yes,
like
and watching Gilmore Girls in the middle of the pandemic in a brand new house that I bought right before the pandemic, and I was like very alone with my cat. And I'm sitting there, and I see my lawyer calling, so I was like, oh, the package didn't go through because that's happened before because it's such a big PDF. And there was just a weird silence when I was like, hey, David. It was just like a weird silence on the phone. And I'm like, David? And he just was like, you were selected. And I was like, for what? I just did not know. And he's like, your baby was already born this morning. I guess I don't know if I didn't see it when he sent it in the morning. I went into a full blown panic. I actually went deaf. I don't think I remember him talking. Like he just was talking and I was like, I zoned out. And then of course, once again, this was another moment that I had to choose say yes. Cause my knee jerk reaction was, tell him you're not right. Tell him this doesn't sound right. You want to meet them. You wanted to do all the things. This isn't how you thought it was. This is definitely not how I thought it was going to be. And it was almost as if you could tell my hesitation because he said, Jodi, I know this is a very stressful way this can happen, but it's the best way. The mom is completely ready to relinquish her rights. She's been through this several times before. So I said yes. It just came out of my mouth and I remember thinking, I'll just go there. I'll just see what's what. I kind of was like, I went through the motions. I called my dad. He was freaking, we were all freaking, everyone was freaking out. I had nothing. I didn't have one thing for this baby, but she was in the NICU for 16 days because she was very early. But I got there and I saw her.
And she's so precious. She's incredible. Yeah.
She's incredible. She was always meant to be my daughter.
She's like so your daughter.
She's so my daughter. Yeah. I think about it all the time. That's, when you think about if I had gotten married when I was younger, why didn't this happen when I was younger? Why didn't I get to this level when I was younger? And then I think about if those things happened, if I had met someone in my 20s, in my 30s, we had gotten married and we had had a kid, then she wouldn't be my daughter. And I cannot imagine a world without her as my daughter. Always meant to be my daughter. From the moment I saw her.
It's so clear.
It's so clear. Things work out the way they're supposed to work out. And I remember crying before, like maybe 1 month before. I remember like the chain of events that happened right before she was born. And they're very like, wow. There was a lot of, synchronicities and like things that just happened that was like very clear something big was about. I could feel it in my bones. I couldn't describe it, but I remember crying in the shower randomly. Well, women do that a lot, by the way. But I remember actually crying thinking, I'm not going to be a mom. I'm going to age out of this because I'll age out of being able to adopt. There's like a certain age. I just was freaking out. And then I got this weird calmness over my body. And I was like, oh, you just have to you have to be patient. I wish I could tell, if I could tell my younger self anything, it's like, just don't try to force that square into a circle hole. It's going to work out. Maybe not exactly how you're thinking it's going to work out, but it will. And a lot of times it's way better than you could have ever imagined. Just enjoy your life right now.
Yeah,
just enjoy it.
Totally.
Yeah. I spent so much time worrying. I was full out about that. Worrying.
I feel like, no, I do think that's true. It's like when you let go of this, somebody told me once, like, it's like you have a pie and your goal right now is just like this one point on the outside of the circle. But if you just like opened it up, you would have so many other options at the end, at the edge of the circle that you are just not even seeing because you're so fixated on this one thing.
So true.
Because my life didn't turn out how I thought it would.
Right.
Nobody's does. I mean, I guess some people.
I guess, yes.
I just feel like I thought I was going to marry somebody totally different. I thought I was going to like be like the star of a sitcom like forever. And I'm like, Marco always is like, aren't you so glad that didn't happen? Because like then you never would have found stand-up. You never would have found a way to actually like express yourself as a creative person. True. You would have done everybody else's. Yeah. Not that I don't like doing that, but like it's fine, not like I never would have found that part of myself either. Like you never would have got Mackenzie, which is like insane.
It's insane to think the chain of events. And then the chain of events that happened after that. Just me. For people that don't know, and I'll make it a short version because I know we're almost out of time, is I was trying to get pregnant. That didn't happen. And then I was going to do embryo adoption. And then I was like stuck on that. And I was like, maybe I'll do that. Embryo adoption is where you can just take someone else's embryo and you can carry the baby, because women can carry children into their 60s. So your uterus doesn't age the same way. So I was like, maybe I'll do that. I really want to experience pregnancy. Then I started working. I just said yes to Funny You Should Ask. I got on there. I was head writer, and one of my writers, her and her wife, went through the foster to adopt. So when I decided to adopt, I went to her and we talked a lot about it. And she actually would come and look at some of the birth mom possibilities. Cut to, I found my daughter. Her and her wife got their son from birth that they were fostering. They ended up adopting him. So we were, always talking about like the adoption process. So I get into the adoption, I'm waiting. She and her wife, they get their son, they adopt. She's helping me try to figure this all out. I get my daughter. A year and a half later, the birth mom contacts me and is like, I'm pregnant again because we have an open adoption. And I always like send her texts and emails with pictures of Mackenzie. She wanted me to adopt. I was like, hell no. But I knew that I wanted my daughter to have one of her half siblings somewhere there. I go to Jess, who was a writer on my show, and I bring it up to her. Long story short, they adopted my daughter's half brother, who is 2 years young. I know, it makes me want to cry.
I know.
All because I'm getting children now, because I said yes to a job. Think about how many things had to happen for Jess and I to actually be working together to go through the same process for me to be like, I'm getting the chills. You're now adopting my son, my daughter's half sibling. And they live 5 minutes from us.
And they see each other all the time.
They see each other all the time. Isn't it amazing? I know I have the chills.
Yeah, I do too.
All of those things had to happen for that to happen. And it's like mind blowing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think about it all the time.
It's
So
so
if
cool.
anybody is listening to this or thinking that, I don't know about this, I don't know about that, just be open. Just say yes. You don't even know where it's going to lead you. You can always, unless you're like, I'm going to rob a bank. Don't do that. Because I know where that's going to lead you. But like, honestly,
unless you're really good at it.
I'm sure
it
so
might
good at it,
lead
then
you
you're not. Then do
somewhere
it. Then do
else.
it and give us some cash. But like, just be open to it. Just be open. Just do it. You can always like do something else. You can always leave. Just say yes.
Always leave that kid.
Yeah, leave the kid. You can have a kid and be like, I don't want this. Jodi said I don't have to. Brittany told me how to get on a bus and get out of here. I'm like, we're done.
No, it is. It's so cool. It's so cool to like see all. Like I feel like I've seen all of these things happen for you.
You saw all of them, and I saw all of your things. I remember when you
Yeah.
first told me you were pregnant with Penelope. In fact, I knew the second you walked into my house to coach, you're pregnant. I have a really strange, weird thing that I can tell when people are pregnant. I also know when you came over to my house and you're pregnant with Benjamin. I was like, ooh. Pregnant.
Yeah, it's so funny. I feel like I have a few friends where I can tell that they're pregnant before they've even known that they're pregnant.
I know. My hairdresser too. There's something I can tell that I'm like, what's off? And it doesn't look like something like they didn't get enough sleep or something. There's just something off. You know what I mean?
I'm like way chiller when I'm pregnant, which is a bummer because I'm never having any more kids. So I guess I'm just going to be neurotic and crazy the rest of my life.
Love it. Full out neurotic.
Okay. Do you want to plug in? Funny You Should Ask.
Oh, yeah. So Funny You Should Ask.
Comics Unleashed.
Comics Unleashed.
That's what I meant to say.
Starting on May 22nd is 11:35 on CBS. Right. That's for an hour. And then Funny You Should Ask at 12:35.
But Comics Unleashed took over the.
It has the Colbert spot. I think people are, and Colbert actually just came out with something today in Deadline, an article about Byron. It's funny. Byron, Comics Unleashed is not taking the spot.
It just got moved into that spot
because Colbert.
It's not like they're replacing it.
They're not replacing it. It's a totally different show. It's a great show. It's just comedy. It's super fun. Brittany's been on it. Her episode is hilarious.
It's so fun. It's four comics.
It's super fun. It's four
sitting
comics
there with
around.
Byron Allen,
Yes.
talking, doing their jokes.
It's so much fun.
So when I went to do your show, I was like, because it's a lot of prep to get four comics to know like what jokes they're gonna do. I'd like to kind of like have this whole thing happen, and you rarely seem stressed out to me. And I got there and I was like, "So are you doing like 2 episodes today?" And you're like, "No, we're doing 6."
Do 6. I know. It's nuts.
I was like, "You're doing 6 episodes today."
I have an amazing team, though. I cannot. It is a lot.
You do have an amazing team. But you also have to like. It's a lot to manage an amazing team.
It is a lot.
To get an amazing team is a lot of work. To get an amazing team to all do their jobs
I mean, yes.
Amazingly.
And I'm really
Yes.
fortunate. The producers are amazing. The editing is amazing. Everybody's amazing. It's so much fun. You're just laughing all day long. And we've, now marks the 20th year that Comics Unleashed has been on. We've had over 1,000 comics on the show. I've only been the executive producer this season and next, obviously, but it's just such a gift to do that and Funny You Should Ask, 'cause it's just like laughing and comedy all day long. So watch that. It's 11:35 on CBS and Paramount Plus. And then Funny You Should Ask, which is a comedy game show, super funny, on 12:35. You can find me, Jodi Miller Comic.
Do you still do the comedy weather?
The World's Funniest Weather, you can see that on Tubi and Roku and Weather Channel. And we're supposed to come back and do another season. I don't know when that is. I'm happy to take a little break.
Okay.
I will be performing more now live now that we're going on hiatus. And then also That's Historical, which is a super fun show.
Jodi does a show called That's Historical where she does stand-up set in a different...
I pick a different year in history and all the comics have to write and perform as if it's actually that year. And we are doing one in June. Pirates, I want you to do it.
Pirates. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I did one that was
you did
witchcraft.
Viking.
I did a Viking
at
one,
Valhalla, yeah.
And I was super pregnant, and I wore this like tight at Valhalla, which is basically the Coachella of Vikings.
Of the Viking
So I wore
era.
like a tight fitted shirt,
so
black
great.
shirt with like this skirt and feathers and stuff. And my mom was actually in town, and she came to it, and she was sitting next to some guy at the bar who straight up was like. Because my mom, of course, is like, that's my daughter. And he's like, oh my gosh, is she wearing like a prop belly? My stomach with Benjamin was so insanely big and prop-like looking. So that was
super fun. But you've done a lot of those shows. You'll do the pirate show
it was
too.
so
It's
fun.
super fun. Comics get to like really, push themselves to write new material based on a specific year in history. Like 1492 we've done Salem witch trials many years. We've done 1863. We've done year one. We've done 29 BC. It's super fun. Super fun
and
show.
like you pulling that together too, because like there's a whole research element to that year.
That's why
and, like,
we're going to be doing it like in June. It'll be at the Improv. It's a super fun show. Anybody that's local, please reach out.
Yeah, come. It's so fun. Okay, yay.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
so
me.
much for
Oh my God.
doing
I'm so glad we did it. We
this.
did it.
We made it happen. Okay, thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.